Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen, and I want us to go straight to the Northrift. Recently, Deputy President toured the Northrift after spending time in the Southrift. Southrift in the counties of Bomet and Kericho, which is predominantly the Kipsigis. UDA is facing a small wave from Chama cha Mashinani, led by Isaac Ruto. Then after that, he was in the Northrift. So today I had just talking to some MCA aspirants from that area, especially the Uasin Gishu, and is opening really my mind on what exactly is happening in the Northrift. And it's very interesting because this is the home to Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. I have maintained in my analysis that unlike Raila Odinga, who spends time in the Nyanza region, even though Nyanza is his primary voters and most probably is going to get votes there, William Ruto had spent less time in the Rift Valley, and I think according to him it was like a done deal. However, the independent candidates in the Northrift are giving William Ruto sleepless nights. The independent candidates, after that UDA nomination, there have been a wave of independent candidates in the Northrift. To my observation, I also realized that Kipchumba Murkomen was missing in the Kenya Kwanza rallies that were held in Kericho. I don't know whether he was in the Northrift, but I understand that Kipchumba Murkomen has also retreated back to Elgeyo Marakwet because he is now realizing that Alex Tolgos, despite being a Jubilee Senate candidate in an area that is dominated by UDA, it is not a walkover in the Senate seat. Now, Kipchumba Murkomen and James Orengo are two leaders, and also in the National Assembly there was, Kimani Chungwa. But Kipchumba Murkomen and Orengo are two leaders in the Senate in the 2017 who won seats without campaigning, not even printing a single poster, because they were simply in the mainstream campaign. So in 2017, Kipchumba Murkomen was in the Jubilee mainstream campaign. Now in this election, because the candidate is one of their own, I think they have been pushed to the periphery, and now William Ruto brought in new faces who are now running the mainstream campaigns. What do you think Kipchumba Murkomen is missing in the campaign trail? But he has resorted to respond to President Uhuru Kenyatta through Twitter, through social media. He's so much in Twitter, but in the rallies, he's nowhere around Deputy President. This is because of emerging. I'm told there was a latest opinion poll that was done in Elgeyo Marakwet that Alex Tolgos is enjoying a 40% of support in that area. So Kipchumba Murkomen enjoying around 50, but there are also other candidates that are also coming there and independent candidates there. In Elgeyo Marakwet County, there is also an opinion poll that has given two independent candidates. That opinion poll has put two independent candidates, Elgeyo Marakwet East and West, ahead of the UDA and other party candidates. So the issue about these independent candidates is causing a problem. And that is why Ruto rushed to the Northrift. But I want to explain in details, and I want to take you to the county of Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. That is Uasin Gishu County. In Uasin Gishu County, at the governor, there is Kotimoja, who is facing stiff competition from Buzeki. If you talk to people from Uasin Gishu, they can tell you that Buzeki is another lion in that race. And true to that, William Ruto went there and he did not decampaign Buzeki. Even if he was campaigning for his UDA governor candidate, he did not go after Buzeki. The current governor, Mandago, is going for Senate. It's not a very, it's a little bit easy race, but that is not very contentious. Now, I want us to look at the constituencies, because that is where you will really see what exactly we're talking about. There is Soi, Ainabkoi, Kapseret, Keses, Moiben, and Tarbo. While Ainabkoi, Kapseret, and Soi can be seen as one that have been locked, because Kapseret is Oscar Sudi, one of the vocal leaders, and of course because of UDA euphoria and William Ruto's defense soldier, he is most likely going to be elected there. Ainabkoi and Soi are also very strong on the UDA. Now I want us to look at Keses, Moiben, and Tarbo. Let me take you to Moiben. UDA gave the ticket to Professor Bato. Professor Bato is a greenhorn in the politics, and she's a professor who was brought in just now. When she came in, she was a little bit underrated, but she won the UDA ticket. But she's facing stiff competition from Sila Tiren. Sila Tiren is the incumbent, but is on an independent ticket. So what that tells you is this is an incumbent enjoys the powers of incumbency. And I'm told that he is really giving the UDA candidate a run for the money. And that is why tactically, I think Ruto might have agreed with Gachagua. When they go to the Northrift, they say, and in the Rift Valley, they say that independent candidates be classified as Azimio candidates. There, UDA has a problem because of Silas Tiren, and I hope some people from that area can help us. Now, I want us to look at cases. Mishra won that seat in 2017, the first Asian to win a seat there in the Cosmopolitan County of Uasin Gishu, on Jubilee ticket. But in this election, he's facing off with Julius Rono, who is on a UDA ticket, and he's an independent candidate. Now, we're told that Mishra is very philanthropic and has done a couple of projects and is loved by the people. You remember when Ruto went there, he specifically went and attacked Mishra. But when Mishra went to the parliament, I think he was in the health committee, and because of that rebellion, there was protest against his candidature there. But he's also a candidate that is giving William Ruto a run for the money. And that is why they went all out for them. Now, guys, I want us to look at Tarbo. If there is a place that will shock this country, is Tarbo constituency. Tarbo constituency is one of the most cosmopolitan because that is where Eldoret town sits. Eldoret town sits in Tarbo constituency. Now, in Tarbo, the UDA candidate Janet Sitienei is facing stiff competition from ODM and Wiper. I know someone is wondering how. Janet Sitienei won that seat in 2017 on independent ticket. So she was an independent candidate, and she managed to beat Kevin Okwara, who was a Jubilee candidate by then. So I want you to look at it. Kevin Okwara was the Jubilee candidate in 2017, despite the fact that there was also other candidates, but he became number 2. So in this election, what happened is there are 2 UDA candidates. There are two challenging candidates. Janet Sitienei, a woman. Then there is Richard Kemboi, who is on a Wiper ticket. So the Wiper guy is also supporting Raila Odinga. But this is the catch. What ODM did, ODM and Jubilee agreed so that Jubilee was not going to fill a candidate, but ODM inherited the Jubilee candidate. So what happened? Samson Wanjama Mugo, known as Samkiz, is a Kikuyu who was handed the ODM ticket, direct ticket, to battle it out with Janet Sitine. Now, that has shaped that race between Mugo and Janet. Now, this is why it is causing a lot of trouble. Because Janet is a Kalenjin and Kemboi is a Kalenjin. Now, that Tarbo constituency is one of the areas that has all those tribes, be it Kikuyu, Luo, Kalenjin, Luhya, Kisi, all of them. So there is a strategy here that if the UDA candidate, Janet and Kemboi, can divide votes, then Samson and Mugo manages to consolidate the Kikuyu vote in that area, then gets bit of the Luo, Kalenjin, the other Azimio votes, then he can surprise William Ruto and win that seat. That is why it became so difficult. So William Ruto went through Tarbo, but they could not attack this Mugo because, one, despite the fact that Mugo was a UDM candidate, but Mugo is a Kikuyu. This area is the area where, like Huruma Ward, that ward is predominantly for Kikuyus. In 2017, Peter Kir won it, and in the by-election, it is the wife who again came and won the seat. So Kikuyus have been winning that seat, the MCA seat. It's not shocking because you remember the rally that Martha Karua held in that area, and Alijaza Stadium. People wondering, were people ferried? This area have many Kikuyus. This is what has been happening in those counties and in those countries. And I'm told in Elgeyo Marakwet, actually Murkomen is finding it very difficult. This is someone who did not campaign in 2017. 2017 it was a walkover. And remember, the West Pokot, Lonyangapuo, is facing off with Kanu, and they seems to have defaced UDA from the ranks. And so there is a lot of tussle, tension in the Northrift. I want us to look at this critically, and we'll try to break it down so that people can understand. So why do you think these independent candidates and the other anti-UDA parties are giving William Ruto a headache? Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Still continue to remind you of our 20 bob challenge for our sister Sarah, who is in Kenyatta Hospital. She was diagnosed with blood cancer, leukemia that is, and she's in need of some support. So we agreed that because we're 28,000 here, if each one of us contribute 50 bob, by the way, in the next 2 weeks tutakuwa tumepata hiyo pesa and she will be released so that she can go and also vote. She's now feeling well. These independent candidates, if William Ruto is not going to win these seats, then I think he's seeing a possibility of lacking leaders at the community level that he can use to discredit results or illegitimacy of results. I want us to use a very easy example. Imagine a situation where William Ruto has lost the election and Raila Odinga has been announced, but he wants to discredit the results at the national stage, while back home he is not managed to win the MP seat. Where does that audacity come from? It will be in the public domain. It will be difficult to explain because that is something that will point out to a general failure. But more importantly, these decent voices carry Raila's votes, especially in Tarbo. Of course, if you look at all the constituencies in Rift Valley, Tarbo is where Raila Odinga got many votes. But then that is the same place he pulled the numbers during the last year's rally. In Tarbo constituency, there are these other votes, like that Kemboi is supporting Raila, There is also the ODM candidate that has been the Jubilee candidate that was branded through ODM is supporting Raila Odinga, and there are Raila's votes in these voices of dissent. In Kipchumba Murkomen's area, Alex Tolgos is enjoying 40% of the support. The 40% of the support can be translated. Raila can get 30% from that. Again, in Elgeyo Marakwet, I'm told Elgeyo East and Elgeyo West, independent candidates are leading in the opinion polls. So these independent candidates, this means that their votes can translate to Raila Odinga. They might be, and this is what something that is then worrying DP Ruto. I also see this can deprive him of loyal luminaries if he's to form government. But of course, majority is going to win majority, but you also need to win very many, especially from home. I see Ruto, who is learning from 2017. There are reports that in 2017, there are many leaders that won seats on vifaranga vya computer manipulation. So Ruto is seeing that these independent candidates can be a fodder for maybe there can be manipulation, and it can favor these independent candidates so that he's shot in the foot. And that is why there is a bitter venom against them, so that they don't pull large number. They can't pull a lot of votes, especially in the general election. If there is any manipulation to hit deputy president and deprive him of the numbers, then you will be shocked to see many independent candidates winning there compared to other areas, even though we cannot underestimate the fact that UDA nominations were a little bit flawed, and that is what led to the thriving of these independent candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my bold.